Donald Trump is on the phone with Hewitt on Israel. They talk about Israel and anti-Semitism, and Trump has a chilling warning for the Jewish people. Check it out.
Let me ask you, I want to go
It
back
didn't
to
help
Israel.
him.
You've had Prime Minister Netanyahu to the White House twice, and I'm very happy to see that because in this country, anti-Semitism is taking off. How do we crush that, and how do we make sure it doesn't get into the Republican Party?
Well, I think I'm crushing it more than anybody ever, and I think nobody's been better to Israel as a president than me by a factor of about 20. In fact, I could say maybe nobody's ever been better than me on Israel. And I am shocked to see what I'm seeing because if you look back at the old days of the Holocaust, you're seeing the same kind of thing happening now as you saw many, many years ago. And you would have thought that that could never happen, right? Wouldn't you
Right.
think? I mean, that's not something. If you go back a few years, you would say that could, it's never. When I was growing up, and, as a young guy, I would say without question, the most powerful lobby, most powerful without question, was Israel in terms of the Congress, in terms of the Senate and the House. The
Sure,
most
AIPAC.
powerful,
Yeah.
the most powerful lobby was. If you ever said anything bad about Israel, your political career was over. Today, and the Senate's hanging pretty tough, but the House is. You look at some of these people, including AOC plus three,
Yep.
and all of these different people that are now. I mean, look at Schumer. He's become a Palestinian. I think he's a Palestinian, actually. That's true.
Let me ask you about Harvard, my alma mater. I hope you pulled their
Okay.
tax exempt status. I want it pulled. They
Wow.
don't deserve it. And it's, by the way, it's not illegal for the audience. It's not illegal for the president to request that review. He cannot order an audit, but he can certainly ask for tax exempt status to be reviewed. Are you going to push that for every university where the anti-Semitism gets out of control?
I think so, yeah. So we're going to look for that, and where we find them, sometimes it's out of control, but you don't see it. It's not so obvious.
Right.
With Harvard, it was very obvious. You look at it, totally anti-Semitic, and you look at where they had 3% conservatives, and the rest of them were mostly radical left. A couple of things I put in. I had them put this in. I said you hired at a tremendous salary Lori Lightfoot, right?
Right.
The mayor of Chicago, one of the worst in history, and then you hired the worst mayor in the history of New York by far, a man who started the downfall of New York, Bill de Blasio, a total disaster. And they hired these two people. They don't hire a Rudy Giuliani or somebody that could actually, who was actually a great mayor. And but think of it, they hired these two people, paid them a fortune, and they're talking about municipal management.
Yeah.
I
want you to keep the pressure on because it's gone off the rails like the left.
Yep, that is 100% correct. Nobody is as good for Israel as me, Donald Trump, President Donald J. Trump. Sorry, that was bad. Melania. It's the only word I know how to do Trump voice in. I am scared. I agree. I think that a lot of politicians are abandoning Israel, and there can be multiple reasons for that. They could be getting funding from AIPAC, and then decide, oh, I'd rather take Qatari money. Listen, I think that Israel needs to become completely independent of the United States. I think that is the number one goal that Israel should have, because if every time a new American president comes in, Israel has to think, oh, is this guy going to like us? Is this guy going to like us? Like, that is not normal. If we are dependent on America, we are not a state. We may as well not be, not even exist, because the whole idea of a Jewish state is that Jewish people will have sovereignty. Jewish people will determine their own future. Jewish people will be safe in a land that is not controlled by other people. And the second an anti-Semitic president gets in, we're finished, So that makes no sense to be so beholden to the United States. A lot of people are saying that Trump is abandoning Israel right now because he did, this negotiation with the Houthis, and he's trying to negotiate with Iran. Like, he campaigned on being a peace president, somebody that didn't start any new wars, and he may be misguided in his attempts to reach out to Iran. However, I think that, again, it comes back to this idea that Americans and American Jews believe that the president has a responsibility to defend and protect and always stand by Israel, always put Israel first. Like, that makes no sense. He will do what he campaigned on. And I think that Israel needs to wake up and realize that depending on America is a bad, bad idea. For more, subscribe to our channel. If you want to support us, go to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. You can also go to our channel memberships to get exclusive content. We also go live every Sunday, so sometimes I think we go members only live and we'll allow you to ask questions, etc. So definitely check us out on Sunday for a live stream. Thank you for watching and have a good one.